The Phil CG Pro have arrived and they are packing some serious features for a surprisingly low price. Strong noise cancellation, comfortable fit, and excellent sound quality all in a compact package. In this video, I'll be giving you my full review along with some comparisons towards the end of this video. And as always, make sure you stick around to the end if you want to hear those microphone quality samples. Now, for transparency and full disclosure, Phil sent over these earbuds for my honest opinion and review. But as many of my longtime viewers will tell you, this doesn't affect my reviews or comparisons in any way. So let's jump straight into it. So first, let's talk about that connection quality. And let's do that while we sort of do a lightweight unboxing here for you. So first up, these are featuring Bluetooth 5.2 along with AAC and SBC as their connection codecs. Now, sadly, they don't offer any sort of like LDAC, LHDC, or aptX adaptive support at this time. But on the plus side, you can easily pair them with either an Android or an iOS device, just using either SBC or AAC. Now, let me go ahead and pop them open. They came in this weird guitar case, not sure what's going on with that. And then here's your ear tips right here. Here's the earbuds themselves. So let's go ahead and pull these out. Let's get this out of the way. And now, when it comes to the range of the Phil CG Pro, they are offering you about 11 meters or just about 36 feet. But obviously, this is going to vary depending on how many obstructions you put in between the earbuds and the device that they're connected to. Now, the Phil CG Pro are also featuring single usage mode, and this is where you can use each earbud individually while the other one is charging in its case. In addition to this, these do also feature quick device switching, and this is something that you can toggle on via the app. Now, not to be confused with multi-point connectivity, you definitely do not have multi-point connections with the Phil CG Pro. I just want to make that perfectly clear. But with a 4-second long press, it will switch between your currently paired device and a previously paired device. So just keep that in mind. It's just a switching feature. It is not a multi-point connectivity feature. I just want to make that clear. Now, moving over to video lag or latency, when you're watching your videos on YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, anything like that, the Phil CG Pro have little to no noticeable latency. So no issues there with having discrepancies between what you hear in your ears and the people's mouths moving on the screen. Now, when it comes to mobile gaming, the Phil CG Pro are also offering you a low latency gaming mode that will definitely cut down on any of that latency. And this is especially handy if you're like me and somebody who likes to play like Call of Duty, or maybe you're playing a different type of a shooting game, then this is going to help in those instances. But just to be clear, if you're super competitive in those games and maybe you're on the cutting edge and you need something with zero latency, then earbuds, these Bluetooth earbuds are not really going to be the right tool for the job. You're going to want to go ahead and stick to those wired earbuds in those cases. Now, just a quick word of caution, using gaming or low latency modes on earbuds or headphones will noticeably reduce your overall battery life. As such, I recommend only using these modes when you truly need them. Otherwise, I would just use these earbuds in their regular mode. Now that we're on the topic of battery life, Phil was claiming that these earbuds were going to give you 6 hours on a single charge with noise cancellation turned off, 4.5 hours with noise cancellation turned on, and a combined 24 hours with the case. But now let me hit you with some actual numbers here. In my own actual testing, I managed to get 4 hours and 17 minutes with noise cancellation turned on, and then 6 hours and 36 minutes with noise cancellation turned off. Now, if you do somehow manage to drain these out all the way, they do have a fast charging feature. So you can drop these right back into their case and they will fully recharge in just under an hour at just about 50 minutes. That's pretty good if you ask me for a complete recharge. As far as charging the case itself, they do have a USB-C port right here on the front, and they also support wireless charging. So you have both options available to you with the Phil CG Pro. As you can see here, this is a unique clamshell type of design for this case, pretty slim in its overall profile. It does have a single LED right here on the front, and it also features a USB-C port right on the front as well, which I actually prefer, if I'm being completely honest. Now, as far as opening it, you do have the lid right here, and the lid does have a magnetic clasp to it, so when you close it, it does have that satisfying click. So I do like that. And then getting the earbuds out of the case is surprisingly easy. Putting them back in is super easy. So it's something that sometimes is overlooked by some other manufacturers, but I like to see that Phil at least paid attention to this detail when it comes to their case and the way that the earbuds sit into that case. Now, before we move into the next section, did you know that 80% of the people watching my videos aren't even subscribed to my channel? Help me change that. I'm trying to build a positive and inclusive community around the latest audio technology, and I'd love it if you joined us. So now let's move over to the comfort of the Phil CG Pro, but let me go ahead and pull them out of the case so you can see the actual earbuds here. Now, these are featuring a stem style design, which is very similar to the previous model, the Phil CC Pro. Although the stems of the CG Pro are shorter and they're triangle shaped, as you can sort of try to see if you can notice that here, they're sort of triangle shaped. So it's a bit different from what you got with the CC Pro because those were longer stems with a squared off shape. So just some slight difference here, but now they sit flat against your cheek, probably a little bit more comfortable in that instance. Now, overall, they are quite comfortable for my large ears, so no issues with ear fatigue or anything like that. When it comes to sleep, unfortunately, I would not recommend them for sleep use unless you are a 100% back sleeper. For side sleepers, this stem is going to get in the way. Plus the fact that they're touch control, I was actually activating the touch when I did my testing, sleeping on my side. So side sleepers, this is a no-go. But if you are looking for some earbuds for a side sleeper, then let me know in the comment section and I can give you some recommendations. As far as activities, you can do some walking, you can do some sitting, you can do like stuff around your house. There's no issues there, but I probably would not be recommending these for exercise or jogging as the grip into your ear is just not the best. Now, earbud grip has a lot to do with the shape of the earbuds themselves and the quality of the ear tips that are included. Sadly, the included ear tips with the Phil CG Pro were, for lack of better words, crap. And they're just not good. I could not get a good seal from the mediums or the large, so I ended up having to get a set of my SpinFit CP1025 to fit on here. But there's a problem with that as well. So you probably can't notice it here, but I'll give it a try anyway. So Phil is using a oversized oval stem. This is why that blue that you see inside of here is so stretched out. It is a huge stem. So in order for me to like shoehorn these CP1025s onto these earbuds, I actually had to soak them in hot water until they loosened up a bit, and then I was able to slide them on. Took a lot of work, but I got it done. But that's just something to keep in mind, that that's what it took. So fortunately, I was able to stretch a set on there, but that's a bit more work than I would expect anyone to have to do in order to get the best fit and the best sound quality out of their earbuds. But that's what I had to do here. Now, when it comes to the controls, these are featuring full touch controls. They are responsive and you get access to a single, a double, a triple tap, long press, along with optional 4-second and quadruple tap. They're still using Phil's standard, which is an odd control scheme where you have track controls on one side and then you have volume control on the other. The full controls are available, but not right out of the box. So that's where a major problem comes in with the Phil CG Pro and basically all Phil earbuds when it comes to the controls themselves. So basically, in order to access the full controls of these earbuds, you have to download the Phil Plus app. Otherwise, you end up with very limited controls, just like play, pause. I think that's pretty much all that's available to you, and then like active noise cancellation. Now, this has been common practice when it comes to all of the Phil earbuds, and this has been a point of frustration for many of their customers. Why a brand would hide the full controls of their earbuds inside of an app is completely beyond me, especially when this app is not readily available for most of their users overseas. Now, I want to bring this up here in case anyone who orders these can't figure out why they can't control all of the functions of these earbuds. I feel that they should be released with full touch controls right out of the box and not vice versa. So now I'm speaking to Phil directly here. Please listen to your customers. Please listen to me. And include full touch controls right from the beginning. Don't make me have to go into an app to turn them on. Please do us that favor. Now, on the topic of the Phil Plus app, they do offer app support. Unfortunately, the app that you can currently find in both the Android and iOS app stores do not support these earbuds. However, they do provide a QR code on the box or in the instruction manuals where you can download a Chinese APK file for Android if you wish. But Thankfully, a hero from the XDA forums has stepped up recently and has provided a translated version of the app that does support the PhilCG Pro, along with a bunch of the other ones, and it does so in the English language. Now, I'll leave a link to that XDA forums post in the video description of this video, so if you want to check it out, that's where it will be. But please be sure that if you download this app, make sure you leave a comment thanking these people for providing this service for the audio community, especially when Phil themselves couldn't be bothered to do so in a timely fashion. Unfortunately, at this time, the app is only available for Android users. iOS users, you just do not have an option with the CG Pro at this time. So now let's take a very quick look at the app. So I've got the app loaded up here, the one that I was talking about in English, on my Pixel 6 Pro. So we've got this one loaded up here. So as you can see, the first screen, you're going to see your battery life for the earbuds individually and for the case. Now, moving over to the second screen, this is where we're going to start seeing some of the more advanced controls. So first up, you have your custom EQ settings. These are your presets. If you hit more, you get a total of 15 presets. You go up here into this, whoops, wrong one. Let me back up here real quick. You go into this arrow right here, and that takes you to the 10-band equalizer if you want to set up your own custom EQ. Now, below this, you have the MAF noise adjustment. First one, that's your active noise cancellation. Second one is your full ambient. Third one is your wind noise reduction. The fourth one is ambient mode, but it's like a vocal focused ambient mode, but more on those modes in just a second. Below that, you have your media controls, and then you have your call volume slider. Now, moving beyond here, we go into the third menu, and the third menu is more like advanced settings. So here is your full control toggle. That's the one that I mentioned with controls, where you have to turn that on in order to access full controls. Here's your low latency mode. Here's some custom button functions. This is where you can decide which of the noise cancellation modes you want the long press to actually function, and you can individually change them by left or right ear. So you have that option. They're adjustable, but they're not fully customizable controls like what we've been accustomed to from brands like Soundcore. Now, then you have your activate noise assistant toggle if you want to have access to that. There is the Bluetooth device switching that I referred to earlier. You have the firmware function here if you need to do any firmware updates. And then there's the advanced setting, and that's just to reset the earbuds. Overall, that's pretty much it when it comes to the app support for the PhilCG Pro. So now let's move over to some of the performance of the PhilCG Pro. So first up, let's talk about that active noise cancellation for the PhilCG Pro. So they are claiming a negative 40 decibel reduction in noise. So it's effective against low frequency sounds, enough to tamp down like engine noise, air conditioners, fans, and it can actually reduce like loud crowd noise down to a more tolerable level. So I was actually pretty impressed with the power of the noise cancellation here. But as I've said on many occasions, tip choice and tip material is going to be crucial to taking full advantage of that noise cancellation effect. So please keep that in mind. Now, there is a secondary mode that's similar to noise cancellation, which is the wind reduction mode. And this can effectively cancel out the noise of wind blowing past the microphones on a windy or stormy day. The only thing I wish is that this feature was functional while using active noise cancellation or ambient mode. That would be pretty dope, as opposed to it being just its own mode. But I guess beggars can't be choosers, but it's still kind of cool if that would be a possibility here. But overall, the active noise cancellation power of the PhilCG Pro is quite impressive for an earbud of this price range, and can easily hang with some of the big boys under $150. So now let's move over to the ambient sound. And in ambient sound, they were claiming dual modes, the full open and the voice. Now, overall, the ambient sound of the PhilCG Pro is clear, it is loud, you can hear everything around you very clearly, so it helps you maximize that ambient awareness. So overall, it's actually pretty good. It's still a bit on the process side, so do keep that in mind. It's not going to be as natural sounding as, say, like your Apple AirPods Pro, nothing along those lines, but it's still pretty good. Now, both modes, as I said before, are very effective at helping you maintain that situational awareness. Unfortunately, I just didn't hear a huge difference between the two modes. The one that's fully open and the one that's supposed to only focus on human voices while tamping down background sounds, I didn't hear a huge difference between those two modes. That's just me keeping it real with you. So the ambient sound does work well, but I'm not seeing a big difference between those two. So now let's move over to the sound and the volume. So first up, the volume. In my own scale, I'm going to give them a 9 out of 10, which is very loud. Comfortable listening for me comes in around 60 to 75%. So definitely more than loud enough for me personally. So they do have plenty of overhead when it comes to watching shows with like quiet dialogue, or if maybe you have a podcast that wasn't recorded well, whatever it might be. There's plenty of volume here for you to be able to adjust it and listen to whatever you're using for your entertainment at the moment. Now, moving over to the sound quality, if there's one thing that Phil has become known for, it would be their sound quality and their tuning. Their T1 series have been top contenders in the tier lists of many reviewers like myself. However, their CC series is a bit different. These are tuned with more emphasis on bass as compared to the more balanced approach that they did with the T1 series. So basically, the CC series, both the CC and the CG, have a deeper V-shaped sound that provides a warmer and fuller sound. So think less analytical like the Phil T1XS and more warmth and richness with the CG Pro. So let's break down the sound quality. So first, let's talk about the bass. And these are bringing that deep, impactful bass. If you're a bass head, if you're one of the bass head crew with your boy El Jefe, then these are going to bring it for you. There's lots of sub bass extension. There's plenty of rumble in there that you can really feel down in your neck. But once again, tip choice is going to make that happen, because I wasn't getting that rumble with the stock ear tips, but with the spin fits, it's totally there. So I knew that was the case. Now, sadly, this bass also extends into the mids quite a bit. There's a bit of bleed there. So if you're looking for that perfect, immaculate cleanliness in the mids, you're probably going to want to look elsewhere. Now, when it comes to the test song, I was using Northside by my girl Destiny Rogers. She's a local West Coast artist. This song has an awesome bass line and it's backed up by her smooth vocal. You definitely want to check that out. She's a dope artist. Now, moving over to the mids. Now, the mids, like I said, there's a bit more mid bass than I would like, but with the app, you can adjust that with their custom equalizer, so you can kind of make some changes to it and make them sound the way that you want to make them sound. So there is some adjustment there. Now, vocal clarity is still very good, but not the best offering from Phil. For vocal clarity, I would still go with the T1XS. Now, the test song that I used for these earbuds was Lithium by Nirvana. The male vocals plus the guitar riffs. This is something you got to add to your playlist. Maybe I'm dating myself here a little bit, but you got to put some Nirvana in your playlist. Just trust me on this. Now, moving over to the treble. So it's still bright, just like all the other Phil earbuds. There's good extension without becoming shrill or piercing, so there isn't like a bunch of sibilance here. Now, you're still getting some pretty good instrument separation for a set of true wireless earbuds. And they can provide you with a wide soundstage on certain live recordings, but at the same time, it can also sound narrow with other recordings. Kind of weird, a bit of a dichotomy there, but yeah, it's a bit of a weird thing that I experienced when going through my playlist. Now, as far as the test track that I used for the treble, I was using a song called Roll the Dice by my girl Haley Reinhart. She's quickly become my favorite female vocalist. This is a newer track that she released probably a couple of months back, but it's something you definitely want to check out if you love a female singer with a smooth, husky voice that can truly bring it, backed by a nice band. Definitely something you want to check out. Now, when it comes to any constructive criticism, any cons of the Phil CG Pro, first, it's going to be that oval tip design makes it very difficult to find aftermarket tips. Although I made it work with the SpinFit CP1025s, it just makes it a pain in the butt to really get them on there. Like now, I don't want to take them off. Now these tips are on there, and that's it. They're never leaving. And then also offering us some subpar tips in the box. Like those tips that were in there were just not good. So hopefully they can kind of make some changes there. Secondly, it's going to be those limited controls right out of the box without the app. So full controls should be standard. I already said my piece there. And then also, if they could offer us some further customization for those controls, that would be kind of dope. Thirdly, the app availability, especially when all of the advanced features are hidden inside of this app. So make that app more available, please. They should get on that as soon as possible. Not only that, make the app available for both iOS and Android. Have that coincide with your product launches. Don't say, hey, here's this new product, but app support's not going to be available for 6 months. Like, excuse me? Like, what? Come on, man. So yeah, They kind of got to get that together as far as the launch goes. Now, let's talk about some rankings here. So the first thing that people are going to ask me is going to be, how do they stack up against the Phil CC Pro, which I have right here, which is, pretty much almost an identical earbud in my personal opinion. As far as sound, noise cancellation, ambient mode, and the controls, they're pretty much identical, to be completely honest. So if you're going to pick between these two here, I would just choose basically whichever one's cheaper, to be completely honest. Whichever one you can get cheaper at the moment, pick whichever one you want. So performance-wise, you're going to get the same performance out of both of these. So now let's do some rankings here. Now for this ranking, we're going to include the Soundcore Life P3, the Nothing Ear Ones, the Edifier NeoBuds Pro, and the One More Comfo Buds Pro. So all of these earbuds come in right around $100. I believe the Edifiers can be anywhere between like 112 and 125. So those are going to be the most expensive ones on this list. But overall, they're right around the same price for all of these. So let's rank them real quick. For active noise cancellation, in first place, we've got the NeoBuds Pro. In second place, we've got the Comfo Buds Pro. Third place, the Soundcore Life P3. Fourth place, the CG Pro. And in fifth place, the Nothing Ear Ones. Now, for ambient sound, NeoBuds Pro are still going to get first place. Second place goes to the Comfo Buds Pro. Third place for the Phil CG Pro. Fourth place for the Life P3. And fifth place for the Nothing Ear Ones. So let's move over to volume. First place, the NeoBuds Pro. Second place, the Phil CG Pro. In third place, we've got the Comfo Buds Pro. Fourth place, the Life P3. And in fifth place, the Nothing Ear One. Now, lastly, let's do sound quality. For sound quality, it's going to be the Edifier NeoBuds Pro. Second place, the Comfo Buds Pro. Third place, the Phil CG Pro. Fourth place, the Soundcore Life P3. And in fifth place, the Nothing Ear One. Now, to be fair, all of these earbuds bring it in their category. All of them. They all perform very well. You'd be satisfied with any of these. But obviously, there's one earbud here that took first place across all of these categories. And that's no joke. They really do outshine pretty much all the other earbuds at this price point. So something to keep in mind here. So now let me go ahead and hit you with some microphone quality samples of all of these earbuds back to back so you can decide which one's going to work best for you. All right, so here we have the microphone quality sample for the Phil CG Pro. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, I'm indoors in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone quality test for the Soundcore Life P3. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Once again, I am indoors in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone sample for the Nothing Ear One. So testing, 1, 2, 3. As you can tell, once again, we are indoors in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone quality test for the Edifier NeoBuds Pro. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, we're indoors in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone quality test for the One More Comfo Buds Pro. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, I am in an indoors environment in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Phil CG Pro in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a crowded bar, maybe a busy coffee shop, something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Soundcore Life P3 in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something similar to like a busy restaurant or maybe a crowded bus station, something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Nothing Ear One in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a crowded bar or maybe a busy restaurant, something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Edifier NeoBuds Pro in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a crowded train station or maybe a busy bar, something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the One More Comfo Buds Pro in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a busy bar or maybe a crowded restaurant, something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. As always, you're going to have to be the judge of the call quality down in the comment section. So with all of that out of the way, if you're interested in checking out the full review of the best earbuds on this list, check out the video I'm going to leave for you right up here on the screen. With that said, I'm out of here. Peace.